Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Dark Art Society podcast. I'm your host, Chet, and Happy New Year. Although, to be fair, I am recording this the day New Year's Eve, but it's airing on New Year's Day, so I'll pretend it's New Year's Day. So Happy New Year. Today we've got Ryan Case on the case. I thought it'd be a good first show of the new year to start things off right, because he's like a positive, upbeat guy, and I really like him and his work. So we had a great conversation. Let's see. As far as me, I've been working through the holidays. I didn't really get a break this time. Plus, I was sick on top of it, so holidays haven't been great this year, but they're over. So, yeah, I got sick, and then I got sick, kind of sick a second time. It was that cold that's been going around. But yeah, got all my orders shipped out and stuff. So ready to start the new year, and hopefully it's better than last year. If you want to support the podcast, go to patreon.com/darkartsociety. Oh, I'm also going to say, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. I've just was looking at the stats the other day, and it said half of the people who listen don't subscribe to the channel. So if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be great. It helps out trying to catch that algorithm. And hit the like button. That always helps as well. Commenting on the video also helps. So if you could do that, that would be great. I need to keep remembering to remind people to do that. Anyway, if you want to support the podcast financially, you can go to patreon.com/darkartsociety, and you can join for as little as $1. And I'm going to do, maybe I have to set up the subscriptions on YouTube also. Maybe I'll do that today, and then they'll be ready by the time you hear this. Or maybe not. We'll see. We'll see if I can get it together. So if you want to support my work, you go to patreon.com/chetzar, and you can join that one for as little as $1 a month. So, if you join at the Dark Art Society, patreon.com/darkartsociety at the $5, I think it's a $5 and above level, you get a 20% discount code for Skull Shop. My favorite skulls, SKULLSHOPPE.com. Amazing, realistic, excellent skulls. Okay, I think that's it. All right, let's get on with it. Here we go with my interview with Ryan Case, and Happy New Year. Ryan Case.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, man. How are you doing?
I'm good. Betty says hi.
Hi. As soon as my dog wakes up, I'll lift her up at the camera. She goes. Yeah,
that's a sweet dog. I love the underbite.
Oh, yeah, that stole my heart as soon as I saw that. A friend of mine found her running wild in the neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
Her owners had abandoned her. And she sent me a picture. She's like, hey, can you foster this dog for a couple days while we try and locate the owners? And I was like, yeah, sure. And after the first night, I was like, this is my dog. Yeah.
Who did that you know who that happened with? That happened with what's his name? He's been on the show. Tom. I'm totally blanking. He does the bookcase.
Tom Taggart.
Yeah. I remember talking to him when he found those two dogs.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, those
look like Muppets.
Yeah. I was like, man, those dogs, you're not giving he was talking about like he was going to just hold them until they found the owners. And I was like, man, no way. Those are your dogs. Those are going to be your dogs. And he was like, no. And sure enough.
I haven't posted her online or anything yet. But it's been way past the legal wait period. So,
right.
Yeah.
So she's yours, Greta.
Introduce her in the new year.
Excellent. Yeah. So, I was telling you before we started recording, I thought, you'd be a good guy to have on for the first show of the year, since you're a pretty upbeat, positive guy.
No, my New Year's resolution is to be depressing and sad. I'm switching it up this year.
Yeah, that might work. That's like with Gary at Copro. He always, it's like he's very like, oh man, sales aren't good, and he's kind of more downbeat. And then whenever he does that, sales are really good. Whereas I'm more like always optimistic, and so I always tell him, use your power of negative thinking. Like for some reason it works backwards for him. So whenever he's like, nothing's gonna sell, we have a big sell. So I'm always like,
Oh,
use
that's awesome.
your power of negative thinking.
The power of positive negativity.
Yeah, exactly.
I
So
like the what is it? I can't think of the word now. Like ominous positivity.
hmm,
Like
I like
you're
that.
gonna have a good day or else.
Yeah. Ominous positivity. I like that. It's very dark art. So yeah. So anyway, I thought I'd have you on, and plus, you seem to be kind of like, I don't know, doing well. And last time when you were on, you were going through a difficult period, I think.
Yeah, I mean, things are still emotionally rough. I
Mm,
got good days and bad days, but I've spent this kind of last year really, um, I don't know, kind of just diving into the paintings that I've really wanted to do, the bigger pieces that I've always kind of put off a little bit, and I've always been kind of afraid to do because they take up so much time. Then I'm losing out on sales on smaller
I
pieces,
know.
and it's always that fear of missing out or some shit. So this year I was like, I remember that quote. If you keep doing the same things you're doing, you're only going to have the same things you have, or something along the lines.
Yeah.
Like you have to. Oh, so I was like, this year I'm going to dedicate to those pieces that I really want to do, and give them the extra time and attention, and just kind of put everything that I felt like I was holding back into. And it was weird. It's like I quit focusing on posting so much on social media because for a while I was doing it like clockwork, like following the rules, following the algorithms, all that bullshit.
How is it working?
Yeah, it was working for a great while, and then it just stopped. And
Hmm. You mean it stopped working or you stopped posting?
it stopped working, and I stopped posting. And but I was like, I'm gonna ignore social media until I need it. And like
Right.
I went on, I ignored it for about 3 weeks. I think I deactivated Facebook for about 3 or 4
Oh, wow.
weeks. And in that time, I made more sales than like the past 3 months posting regularly on social media.
Wow.
So I was like, I'm gonna keep with this. I'm gonna ignore it until I need it.
Okay.
And
Yeah, that's always they say you're not supposed to do that. It's just
yeah,
fun. It's
yeah,
because you're supposed to keep
it's
it.
complete opposite of what I was doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but that's if that works for you, one thing about this art life is that it's always different for everybody. You can't. That's why it's so hard to make it, or at least help people. Um, help people follow a plan because it's different for everybody.
Right.
You know,
Right.
every artist
Yes.
I know, it's different.
Yeah.
It's like certain basic things kind of usually work a certain way, but not enough to where you could say, here's how you do it, and it'll work for everybody. No way.
And the only way you can find out what doesn't work is to try everything.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I've been, I don't know. Did you see my dumb videos of
As soon as I saw the first show, I was like, fuck yeah, man.
those are like,
We all reached that point where we're just like, fuck, this sucks.
it's terrible, but it's funny because now it's like, okay, I have a format that works if I
Yeah.
need to get a word out, and it's just a matter of uh, calling up my real anger and frustration to make the videos.
Right.
It's not one of those things I think you can fake. I think if you fake it, it's not going to work. But man, it's like people responded. It was so funny. I was just like, I don't want to do this. Fuck. And then people responded, and I made some sales, and so I was like, okay, I've got a little bit of a thing that works here. So I'm going to be forced to do more. against my will, and that's just going to make them better because I'm going to be so pissed that I'm doing it.
Yeah, the next couple of videos is just going to be you screaming your head off.
Yeah, or just like shaking my head. So yeah, it's kind of a nightmare, but I don't know. So what there's something to be said about following your the only like the North Star that artists should be following is their strongest passion.
Right.
And it's like, if you want to do these big paintings and put extra time in, then you got to do it. But that doesn't guarantee that it's going to necessarily pay off right away. Like, cause like I was going to do, I did that big painting of I got a small version of it. Remember? Oh no, it's somewhere around here. It was the Cyclops. It was the flower.
Yeah.
And the skull. And, I did that 36 by 48. And because these ones are selling faster than my other ones. And so I thought, I'll do it big. Yeah. And it didn't sell. And I was just like, man, I had it all figured out. I was going to start doing these big ones. And then it didn't sell. But then it did sell. But it took like 3 months. But that's how it goes.
Yeah.
It takes time to sell stuff. You just don't paint something and it sells usually.
No, I've tried to approach everything with the whole message in a bottle idea. Like, here's this thing I made. I put it out on the internet. I'm going to go make something else, and it'll eventually get to where it needs to be.
Right.
Or find whoever needs to find it.
Yeah.
It stays with me, and I'm okay with that now because I really, really love the paintings I've been making this year.
Yeah, they're great. You definitely have been kicking it up a notch every time, I see a new piece. So yeah, and I think that's an important thing about pushing your career to the next level is to. Oftentimes that means painting larger and also putting the detail or putting the time in, and just be like, I'm gonna finish this thing. Is gonna no rushing this one. It's gonna be done when it's done, and often I think it's those ones that people notice when you do that.
Yeah,
and that's how
I really love getting to a point where in a piece where I'm happy with it and I totally sign my name and be done with it. And then I'll take Indian ink and pour it all over it and mess it up and then try and fix it and see what happens. And it creates like this extra layer that looks though it was completely intentional, but wouldn't have been there otherwise.
Right. Yeah, I love that about your stuff. You just are like, I was thinking about it's very kinetic and just feels like energetic. There's like energy coming off the.
Yeah, I fucking love it. Some artists can, I can't be creative if I'm not in a good mood.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I'm sad. Like I don't want to paint.
I know.
And if I do paint, I don't want to stay connected to that piece because it's got that uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah.
And I don't want that connected to something that someone else would hang up in their house.
Yeah.
So I like to always stay in a pretty upbeat mood. And
yeah, I have to be that way to paint. Like I can't do it if I'm bummed or something's really wrong in my life. I can't just like, oh, I'm going to paint and I'll feel better. It's like you have to get that thing taken care of in order to get to that state of mind where you're like, relaxed and
everything's all right.
Yeah. And you can really enjoy it. So, yeah, well, that's cool. I'll look forward to seeing those. Yeah. Are you trying any new techniques? I still don't even know what your technique is so crazy. It's like I
have no idea.
I can never tell what you're doing, how you're doing it. Cause it's just like, there's so much stuff going on. That's what I love about it. Just like they're vibrating.
When I first started to like get into painting, I was obsessed with Basil Gogos and Ralph Steadman.
Oh yeah.
So I really mashed those two together. And I think that really, put me where I'm at today.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, Ralph Steadman's just making a mess everywhere.
Yeah.
beautiful. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Chaos.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember seeing his stuff when I was a little kid and loving it. I used to love his stuff when I was really young. When you're at that age where you just you either like something or you don't,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I remember, I mean, yeah, and seeing Ralph Steadman stuff, I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then I remember my dad took me to the Watts Towers, which was like in Watts. It's like this guy built this house with it was all art.
Yeah.
But kind of primitive, just like not realistic, very much like paint. All the rocks are painted and he's got this crazy tower. And now it's like, wow, this is amazing. But when I was a little kid, I was so disappointed because my dad was like, yeah, it's this guy's artist house. It's all art. And I was like into the realism stuff. I was into, just stuff like you're saying, Basil Gogos and the stuff on Famous Monsters magazine covers and stuff. And I was like, oh man, but it's like that though. Your tastes change as you get older. Like
absolutely.
Like I never used to like old masters paintings really. When I was
I thought it was all boring.
Yeah,
shit,
when I was a little kid, it's boring.
Yeah.
Now it's like you're an adult and you're like, oh, this is amazing. But I used to like a lot of stupid things when I was a kid. I don't like now.
I'm pretty much into every single thing I was as a kid.
What's that?
I'm still pretty much into every single thing I was. I was looking around the room. I was like, it's all there.
Yeah. I am too. I guess I hung on to the things there's things I still love. Absolutely. It's so funny because I was thinking about this. It's totally off the subject, I guess, in a way. But I was watching this landscape. This guy who does these amazing landscapes. I forgot his name, Christensen or something. He's like an older guy. I don't know, in his 60s. Making really good painter, landscape stuff. And I saw an interview on a podcast, and it was like, it was just like I couldn't really relate to either of these guys. It's like they were talking about Vivaldi and classical music and football and all this stuff. It was like, which is totally cool, I mean, I think that's great, but I just was like, I guess the common interest would be the actual painting process. Right. I'm really interested in that, but I don't know. It seems to be, I want something more than that in my artwork. I don't know. It was making me think how like our little niche is, our little scene is, specifically people like us that have studios that look like just these studios you look right now and you can tell on the long hair and everything, and then you see kind of like these regular artists, which I appreciate and love, and I look at their paintings as much as I look at anybody's paintings, but they're like too normal. Which is fine. If you're normal, you should be normal. You shouldn't be weird to be weird. You should be who you are. But it's still like, you gravitate towards things like yourself that you can relate to, I guess.
One of the first artists to really inspire me was a guy named Robin Weingartner. He owned a gallery in Maysville, Kentucky called the Purple Turtle Art Gallery. Mm. And I would go there after high school and just hang out and bug him and get on his nerves every single day. And most of the art in there was like Native American art and Western stuff I really wasn't into, but it was very, very well done, and I really admired his style. Right. I thought that was the only stuff that he did. And then years later down the line, I know that he did, or he told me that he did monster designs for the Inhumanoid creatures and did for the box, and had all these wild stories for working with Lisa Frank. But he's just like this real straight-laced, soft-spoken guy that you would never have this other creative side to him.
Well, look at you seen Beksinski, what he looks like, right?
Yeah.
He looks like a regular grandpa guy, which is kind of cooler. you know,
Yeah.
to have this fucked up imagination, but like look completely normal and you know, on the surface. It's pretty great. But I don't know what, I was just thinking about that just earlier. I was watching this stuff. It's a trip. It's a trip. I want to connect with more normal artists though too, just because I think that, like I said, I think that that's the bridge between us and like normal artists is that we still are into technique and we're still painters and we're ultimately doing the same thing.
Yeah, we're doing exactly the same
You know,
thing.
it's just a different subject matter. You know,
Just cooler.
we're just doing cooler stuff.
I mean, I would love to have like, love to see like some just regular straight laced normal dude or normal artist who does, nothing but bowls of fruit all day, which is fine. But just give them a skull
Right.
graphics in the center of it, just to see what they do. Fun they'll have painting a skull because it is ridiculously
Oh
amount of fun.
yeah, I know. I can't get enough. I painted all these skulls, these skull flowers, and it's like, oh my god, these are so fun.
Dude, those pieces are so amazing
Oh,
too.
thanks. Yeah, they're just such a weird thing I stumbled upon. So fun though.
Have you thought about doing one with like a bloomin' onion from the Outback Steakhouse in it?
What?
Instead of a flower, have like the bloomin' onion from the Outback Steakhouse.
That's a good idea. Bloomin' onion. Yeah. Take it into the food direction. That'd be hilarious. A big bloomin' onion. That'd be a challenge to make it look like a bloomin' onion, you know?
You got to make it crispy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, talk about where where you've gone, you know, because like I said, last time you're going through a difficult time in your life, and you mentioned that you kind of like started changing your routine up.
Yeah. I mean, I've always gotten up early. I like to get up early and get stuff
Oh,
done.
you're one of those early people.
Yeah. But now I'm like stupid early.
Like how early?
Well, it's not too bad. I started getting up about 6:30, but
That's not too
now I'm
bad.
up about 7:30 in the morning,
That's
like
not bad.
without an alarm clock anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, to do that, I bought one of those old school like hammer bell alarm clocks from Walmart, and I put it all the way across the room in my bedroom. So when it went off, it scared the shit out of me, and I'd have to physically get up to go turn it off. I'd be mad and already awake. But after about a month of doing that, like I was getting up without it and before it, just to not have that trauma of waking up to the alarm clock. But yeah, I love to walk, and walking and meditation go really hand in hand for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I started walking about 2 miles a day, and
Nice.
then I found an app that tracks your steps alongside the characters from Lord of the Rings as they walk to Mordor. That got me addicted. So
Perfect.
now 6 to 8 miles a day.
Perfect for you.
Yeah, it's awesome. Um, I started doing that. Picked up a little exercise routine, weight bench, trying to take better care of myself.
Nice.
Because yeah, I was in a bad space mentally last year. I kind of I let a lot of things get to me. Mostly, I let myself get to me, and um, once you realize that no one can say meaner things to you than yourself, it kind of dulls down a lot of noise.
Yeah.
And when you have control over that, it's a lot easier to help pick yourself up and get through some tough spots.
Hmm.
But for me, like I said, the walking routine really helped. Exercise routine really helped my spirit, made me feel better.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just turned 44 yesterday, so I
Happy
figure
birthday.
thank you. I've got 6 years till I'm 50. So when I turn 50, my present and my goal for myself is to do a Conan the Barbarian photo shoot. I'll be sending those out to all the Dark Art Society members.
Excellent. I can't wait.
But on my walks, I do a lot of mental, how do I say it? Compartmentalization, where as soon as I wake up in the morning, I feel very anxious.
Hmm.
And it feels like an old school Rolodex just going back and forth in my mind. And on my walks, I listen to like tonal vibrations for
Hmm.
the first minutes. And during that time, I'm going through the Rolodex in my mind, being like, is this something that I need to worry about? Is this something I can do about this? And kind of moving things around in their importance.
Mm-hmm.
And usually by the end of that, I feel like I can take on the entire day, no problem.
Cool. Yeah, that's great. So you're staying consistent with this.
Yeah, every day.
Wow.
The only days I haven't been able to do this, I got sick for a couple of days a few weeks ago. I was down for a few days, but
Yeah,
yeah, other than that, every day.
that's awesome. Yeah, I got sick. That's the other thing. I've been sick over the whole holidays. I got sick right before Christmas, and then I got better, and now I'm feeling like I'm getting sick again, like a milder version. It sucks, but yeah, that they say that exercise is huge. I don't know if I told you that story about my dad and my stepdad. Did I tell you about that?
So
Where he like totally had a nervous breakdown in the '60s because he was like doing meth, I guess, or speed they called it back then. He was driving trucks, and so they would take speed to stay up all night, and he just like flipped out and got put in a mental institution. And they were like, he's so fucked up, he's never gonna get out. He's never gonna live a normal life. And he said that so this was in the '60s, so like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest mental institution, I imagine. But he said he started lifting weights, and he just started lifting weights little by little. He started feeling normal again, and he got to a point where he was like able to get out and live the normal rest of his life. That, and like he got in a AA program for the drugs, and yeah, but he credits the exercise.
yeah, that's what I love about Henry Rollins' Black Flag.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
growing up, and how his one of his teachers told him to lift weights because he always got pushed around.
Hmm.
And that was a definitive moment in his life when he knew that he had strength,
Right.
not just physical strength, but like confidence. And yeah, I just always thought that was fucking rad.
Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, so that's good. I'm glad.
Thanks, man.
It's good to hear. Yeah, the thing I've been thinking about, because like 2024 kind of sucked. I mean, sales wise, everyone I talked to, their sales were lower. My sales were lower on my website. Um, it's got like you can compare years and everything, and it was down, I forget,
Everything.
28% or something. It was kind of a lot.
Yeah.
And everyone I talked to, all the galleries, all the artists, everybody I talked to was saying that just sales have been slow. And so I've been thinking, like, instead of going like 2025 is going to be great, which I do every year, and it ends up sucking, and then you're like, okay, this isn't working. I've been, I've been trying to like do that. I think it was David Lynch was saying, when something good is happening, there's something bad kind of waiting to come up, and when something bad is happening, something good is about to happen. So it's like, that seems like a good, that gives you a good sense of like equilibrium,
Yeah.
that, don't get too attached to the good stuff, because there's something's going to happen. Something bad's going to happen. But when something bad happens, you don't have to like stress that it's going to continually be bad, because something's good is going to happen. If you think about it, that makes sense, because life is kind of, or reality is kind of like this binary on or off. It's like a dualistic reality where it's in or out, on, off, black, white, left, right, up, down, all this stuff. Opposites is kind of like, so it seems to make sense that it's never going to be a utopia, but it's never going to be like an ultimate hellscape. It's not going to be a dystopia either.
Yeah, you have to have the peaks and the valleys.
And it's just always going to be like that.
When you're in the valleys, or when you have the lows, that's when you realize just how special the highs are.
Right. Yeah.
If you're always at the highs, then that's the norm. You're fucking bored.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Like, it's like I was saying before, I don't know, on one of the podcasts, like every time I've had like this big, it happens, you get periods where you're like, oh, I'm making all these sales, and every time it's happened, I've been like, this is it. Yeah. I made it. I don't have to struggle anymore. And then it always ends up going back down again.
Once you get the plateau mindset out of your life, like once I get here, everything will be okay. Now, once I get here, everything will be okay. Right. Like, destroy that, get that out of your mind. Like there's no plateau. It's just one.
It's like it's like that, it's like a wave, and there's
nothing you can do about it. So take care of the things you can control when you can, and release what you can't.
Yeah,
as easy as that sounds.
You got to surf the wave. It's a wave, and you got to kind of like surf it and navigate it.
Surf music. You can't be in a bad mood and listen to surf music.
That's true. That's true. Wow. Yeah. So I don't know. That's kind of the mindset I'm trying to go into 2025 with, like no expectations, but no dread, because there's so much to be like dreading right now just in the world. But, of course, all that stuff also, when you think that, and then it's like, okay, what about people in war zones? What about people in Ukraine and Gaza? It's like it doesn't really work in that situation, And
it's like anytime I feel frustrated with something that's going on in my life, I'm reminded of a quote that my friend Brad told me, and it really kicked me in the ass. He said, "There's how'd it go? There's always somebody with less than you doing more than you with a smile."
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck.
That's true. That's true. And and there's always someone better than you.
Yeah.
I've heard that one before. And there's always someone that has it worse than you. Yeah.
It's all about perspective. And yeah, really, the shit that I would complain about really doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. I know.
I'm pretty lucky, dude.
Yeah, ultimately. Yeah, we're able to, make a living creating art is kind of amazing.
Yeah, I get up every fucking day and I paint until I get tired.
Yeah.
Like, it's just fucking amazing. Like I'm living the 12-year-old's dream that I had.
That's like Jimmy, my stepdad, he was like, he died totally broke and living in this little apartment, but he was, with my mom and, she had died a year before, but he was totally happy having not made, being broke as an old person. He didn't give a shit. He did not give a shit because he was able to get up and paint every day. And he told me that. He's like, this is it. He didn't care about money at all.
Oh, if I couldn't paint every day, I would totally be in an asylum or just completely out of my mind.
Yeah.
Because the years that I needed to paint the most, like my early Wilder years, like I was depressed, suicidal.
Wow.
Not creative at all, just a mess. And then when I started to get back into art, that's when I started to get that confidence back and, feel a sense of purpose again and, feel more control over life.
Or, you feel like you're doing what you're supposed to do. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
You
The
know?
fucking stars are lining up and shit like that.
Yeah. And then you screw it up by going, yeah, it's all going to be great now. I guess that's the problem with being an optimist. There's like you know, I don't know. I'm an optimist. I'm an optimist
Yeah.
naturally, but you got to be realistic as well.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes.
yeah,
Sometimes it's fun to just abandon reality and
yeah, true. That's true. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. I know a lot of people have been struggling
yeah.
and have had a rough year.
Oh fuck yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I always feel like, especially in the past several years, is that we're in, another dark age.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's super depressive, it's super heavy, everybody's fucking worried about every fucking thing. And we have these little boxes in our hand that give us so much information that we don't know how to process it all,
Yeah.
so we don't put it down. And I just have this hope and feeling that there's a renaissance right around the corner. And
Yeah.
maybe it'll be in my lifetime, maybe it won't, but it'll be here.
Yeah.
And those people will thrive.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
If we're not here, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree totally, man. And you hope that you're going to be there, or maybe it's happening and we can't even see it.
Yeah.
I mean, think about all the people, especially in the dark art scene. It's like so many people creating artwork.
It's so much work out there.
It's a dark art renaissance for sure. I don't think there's ever been a movement like this ever. No. It's just that it hasn't been accepted by the tastemakers and stuff yet. But
that's okay
but some have, like Guillermo del Toro.
He is a gem.
Yes. There are a few people that see its value and importance. And eventually it's gonna catch on to academia and all this other stuff. The people that hold all the cards. Come here, Betty. Come here.
Well, if you see the number of artists growing exponentially, eventually will be the majority.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And we'll be the snotty ass ones.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be
we'll be polite and awesome.
Yeah, you can't control it. You can't do anything other than do your best.
Do what you can.
Do what you can.
Enjoy the ride and be a good person and don't be a dick.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Dog, come here.
Get my dog. I'll be right back.
Okay, come here, Betty. Come and say hi to everybody. This is Betty. I'm babysitting Betty. She's very sweet. If you're listening and you're not watching this, she's a white Chihuahua kind of mutt thing, and very sweet dog, but she's kind of got that attitude when our other dogs come around, the bigger dogs. She kind of thinks she owns me, and she goes after the bigger dogs a little bit, but ah, how cute! Look at me. So cute. Oh my god, I want to.
She's mad 'cause I woke her up.
Oh, Greta. What a cute girl. How old? Do you know how old?
She's 2.5.
Oh, cool.
Go back to sleep.
Does she hang with you in the studio when you work?
She does a little bit. She loves her chair in the living room.
Okay, yeah.
I've never seen a dog that loves to watch movies. She'll sit there with me and watch the whole thing.
Really?
She hates helicopters.
That's what.
Yeah.
Not this one, but
crazy.
The black pug we have, Tater. He hates helicopters, man. He goes crazy when he starts barking, and
That's hilarious. She'll jump off the bed and bark at it, and then go into the kitchen, which has the opposite side of the TV, to make sure that nothing's on the other side.
Oh, wow. She's smart.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
You take her on your walks?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And she doesn't go on the long morning walks, but we go around the block.
Okay. Yeah, she's too lazy.
Yeah.
That's how my kid has a Great Dane that just.
Oh, those things are horses. I love them.
She does not. It's a really cool dog, but she does not like walks. She just doesn't like walks. My dogs live for walks. I have to walk them every day.
I'd have to be very quiet when Hank and Fridge, my other dogs, were alive. Because if I took my jacket off the hook and it made their chains jingle, like, they would go crazy. If they were going for a walk, they'd be scratching at the door. It's great.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird how certain dogs don't like walks. But that's cool. So, do you have any plans for shows or anything? What's going on in 2025 for you? Just gonna do paint the big paintings that you always wanted to paint?
Keep working on these big paintings. In August, I'm going to be doing a tattoo convention in Louisville, Kentucky.
Cool.
I can't think of the name of
it. You've done tattoo conventions before?
I have in the past. I used to do a lot of tattoo and horror movie conventions. And then I got out of it a little bit and did more online sales. So
yeah.
But a lot of my friends are going to be working at this convention, so I want to go and see them, hang out for a little bit.
Oh, cool.
And in March, I'm taking over the downtown Louisville Spinelli's Pizzeria. They've got this massive gallery wall in their downtown spot. And,
cool.
With all my weirdness. But other than that, I think I'm just going to be doing little pop-up galleries. They're really fun. I'll just contact different local businesses and be like, hey, this time or this date, this time, can I come set up a table and sell some art prints and, meet people, have a little fun time like that. But
yeah.
Those are really fun.
Yeah. They're great. And I love conventions and stuff too, but man, it's just the setup. I haven't done anything since COVID, since the lockdown. I just I don't know. I got used to not doing it. It's so much work, especially the older you get.
Shit around.
It's a nightmare. Once you're there and set up, it's fine. But then you have to talk to people, which is, it's good to talk to people. But for 10 hours or sometimes 12 hours, it's rough, man. It's hard to do that.
Dude, after a weekend convention, you feel like you've been on the road for like a week.
I know. Yeah. So I don't know. I really feel guilty. Like I should be doing more of them, but I just can't. I haven't been able to bring myself to do it. It's just so much work. I don't know. I'm going to try. Every year I say I'm going to try and get my shit together, and I'm going to do my best. It's like every year I'm like, I'm going to get my commissions done. And it's like I have been getting them done, and there's it's a smaller list, but they're still not done yet. So hopefully this year, if I keep going, it's got to stop at some point. No,
man, that's that plateau thinking again.
yeah, right. So I don't know. Man. We'll see.
This art life is fucking weird and wild, and
I know.
Even though it's taken me to like some of the worst feelings in the world, it's also opened so many fucking doors.
Yeah.
That I never would have thought possible. Just being a weirdo who paints monsters.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure you've met it's nice meeting people that appreciate the work too.
Yeah. It's really cool, especially like Reddit's been really, really cool for my artwork.
Yeah, I've never really used Reddit much other than looking things up, but
it's a real gamble though. You get either some cool comments and some feedback and shit like that, and then you get a shitload of trolls and
yeah, that's what I've heard.
That's gonna happen anywhere you go.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's social media in general.
It sucks.
Yeah.
I think I really backed off it when I got to a point where I realized that I wasn't doing these posts for myself or to sell my art. It was because these are the hoops that this social
Yeah.
media is, that you have to do these to get seen. I was like, no, I'm bored. I'm tired with it. I
Yeah.
don't want to do this shit. That's when I really try to like funnel people towards Patreon.
Oh
And
yeah. That's the other thing I haven't done is really focused on trying to get people to Patreon. I just set that thing up and I got like a pretty good amount of people, but I
yeah,
haven't really pushed it. So how did that work for you? Were you able to get more people over there?
yeah, I got quite a few followers, especially at the the $2 tier.
Oh, cool.
And I think that like $2 a month doesn't really help that much, but you get enough people, and
Yeah.
it can cover a light bill. It can put gas in your car, keep groceries in the fridge. Like,
Dude, yeah,
hey,
it's I know people making, 9, 10 grand a year
yeah,
or a month.
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm hoping. I would love to get there. I mean, there's some of the like big podcasts are making like 90, $100,000. Like
Yeah.
I think that Chapo Trap House makes 100 grand a month. Can you imagine $100,000 a month? It's like, fuck. It's out there too. That's the thing that kills me. It
The
is.
wall would be nothing but Chet Zars behind me.
I would be happy to sell them to you. Yeah, it's the thing that's frustrating. It's like it's out there. The money's out there, and there is a way to make it work.
And
And
with the whole trying to manifest things and bring things to you, you got to create a stream to you for it to get
right,
to you.
yeah,
I mean, you can wish to win the lottery, but if you never buy a ticket,
yeah,
you're gonna have any sort of chance.
yeah.
So you gotta, I don't know. It's fucking weird.
I know it's so frustrating. So frustrating.
You go through you look back at your art life and you're like, man, remember that time when the electric bill was due and you're really fucking stressed out and you needed like $200 and you sold a couple prints and it covered it.
Yeah,
And then that happened repeatedly every time you fucking needed it.
yeah,
Like, wow, there's something to this.
yeah. And you still doubt it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like, okay, 20, this has been happening now for like 20 years.
No way.
You think I'm gonna, as a certain point, I'm just gonna like not worry about it because it always gets taken care of somehow.
I think that's when we just need to buy wizard robes.
Yeah,
That'll give us the extra confidence to just be like, yes.
that's a good idea. Just dress like a wizard all the time.
Yeah, dress for the job you want, right?
I like it. I like it. I think we could start a trend here. I might go more warlocky. I think I might
Yeah.
go more warlock than wizard. But
Yeah.
it's all you're definitely a wizard guy for sure.
Here, hold on.
Got a prop?
Of course.
All right. Your wizard staff.
This was gifted to me by a wizard that was traveling through Kentucky.
Really?
His name was Wizard Steve. He gifted me this and a couple little stone skulls.
No way.
I've never heard from him since.
How did you connect with him?
He came through an art show that I was at and made friends with him and hung out with him for about a week. Gifted me these things and disappeared. So.
Wow. What is he, just like a traveling wizard?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was like an actual wizard.
Just kind of goes around and
It gives people medical things and then disappears.
Goes to art shows, gives people
Yeah.
staffs, and wow. Oh, that's cool. Wizard Steve. Well, if you hear this, Wizard Steve, get in touch with
Yes, please.
Ryan.
Thank you.
I haven't smoked a cigarette in like, I'm pretty much quit by now. I'm just using this vape. It's been, I don't know, 6 or 7 weeks or something.
Nice.
I snuck up on myself.
Yeah, you're gonna join the vape competitions and do like those.
Yeah. Vape Nation. No, I had this sitting here, and I'm like, okay, I'm sick of smoking. I'm just done. So I'm just gonna. It was like, instead of psyching myself out, I feel like I snuck in the back door while my mind wasn't really thinking about it. I just made the commitment like real fast.
Yeah.
Before I had a chance to think about it, and it was like so easy.
You did the whole Indiana Jones switching the statue.
Right. I mean, it definitely feels way better than a combustible. Yeah. I can tell it's definitely not as bad. I fully believe it, but I was surprised at how easy it was. So that's the way to do it for anyone who wants to quit smoking. You have to don't think about it too much. Just get a vape with nicotine, whatever vape thing you can get, and just do it quickly before you think about it. I think, the thing is, I think I quit, I think finally because I just wanted to. I think that was it. It's like I just wanted to quit. It's like none of the people giving me, not that many people did, but people always give you a hard time, and it's like bad for you. It's like, yeah, I know. If anything, that made me want to smoke more out of spite. It's like you quit when you want to quit. But anyway, so I feel like I'm starting off the year on the right foot in that way.
Yeah. I need to keep with my New Year's resolution and be sad and depressive and angry.
Yeah. You'll have to come back at the end of the year and let me know how that worked for you. Yeah, I don't have any plans for the year.
Yeah, I've got very few.
I'm not doing another show because that last one again just killed me practically. I was like, I have to get my life figured out before I do another show to where I'm not like, it was too much. So yeah, I'm just focusing on commissions, getting commissions done. It's a lot easier to make. It's really weird because it's like easier to make money without a solo show for me because I can kind of like paint weird little things, stuff that sell easily. I can just do them on the fly.
Right.
But when you're working on a show, everything has to stop and you just have to work on the show. And if you sell or a lot of work, then you get money, but it was too stressful this last time. It was too much. So
Go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna take another year off and hopefully just try and get more caught up on everything. It's like if I could just get all my commissions out of the way, it'll be so much easier. I'm gonna do it. I'm never giving up.
Yeah, last year I signed up for back-to-back solo shows at 2 different spaces.
Oh shit.
Both had decent turnouts and 0 sales, and it really was a punch to the gut.
Oh man.
Took off on things that I was probably supposed to be doing probably like 8 months.
Yeah.
For both these shows, and to have no turnaround on it. That was a real kick.
Yeah. It's the worst.
Slowly over the past year, like those pieces have been sold off to different people, and
they sell eventually. Yeah. And it's nice to have a back stock, but you still got to pay the bills for 8 months. Yeah.
It's like, come on, just one red sticker. That'd be all right.
Yeah, my show did pretty well. My last one, but not like the 2 before that were just sold out.
Oh, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, first time, ever, and in my career, I think. And I think one of them sold out before the show opened, which is totally amazing. But and then again, you're like, oh, it's always going to be like this. No, then you do another one, and it's like, no. But this last one, it did pretty well, but it was like sales were kind of slow. Not as many pre-sales, but I had some, and it was just like coming in little drips, and it was man, it was rough. It was so rough. I'm telling you, this year's been. I'm so glad it's over. Kind of. It's been a bitch.
Oh, I'm really. I've kind of disconnected myself from social media a lot.
Yeah, I did. Me too.
I don't do the scrolling.
Me either.
I don't have it on my phone unless it's like Instagram, something that I can't post from my computer.
Yeah.
And like for news, I'll scroll through Reddit, once in the morning just to see a few world events, if anything is going on. But other than that, I'm disconnected from everything, and it's fucking wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. I did that too after the election. I was like, okay, I gotta, because I was watching, I was way involved in watching everything every day. And, and I'm like, I can't do it anymore.
Remember that feeling when you were a kid and you got on your bike and you went off riding and your parents didn't know where you were and you weren't back till fucking dinner time and there's no way they could have contacted you?
Yeah.
That feeling of true freedom, that's what I miss. Like I'll go every now and then. I'll leave my phone at home just to not have something connected to me just for a few minutes. And it's weird. The first couple times you do that, you feel a panic.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, no, I left it at home. It's all right.
Yeah.
What if somebody tries to contact you? Take care of it when you get home.
Yeah. The way it used to be.
Yeah.
Back when people used to write letters and shit.
Like if you didn't pick up the phone by the time somebody hung up, you didn't know who the fuck it was.
Yeah.
Somebody could be on fire. Nobody knows.
Yeah. Turns out there's not that many emergencies that happen.
Yeah.
That you don't have to constantly.
And you call me, there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
Stops bleeding.
Yeah, it's funny that we think that we have this idea well, if there's an emergency, you have to have your phone on you, but it's like, how often do emergencies like that happen? Almost never. They do happen once in a while, but
yeah, even if there is one and you don't have your phone on you, there's somebody who does.
Yeah, right.
A stone's throw.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not as attached. I think it's because I'm older. Maybe I got a phone when I was older. I'm not as attached to people, I don't know, 10 years, 15 years younger than me. I know I have friends who are just like, oh yeah, I'm addicted to my phone.
Yeah.
Just openly acknowledging it. Like they have to delete their apps on the phone. They can't control it. And it's like,
I can't work with friends on my phone.
See, I used Word with Friends for a while and then I stopped using it. And it was like, I just don't have that. I don't have that same connection, like that thing that I think it's because I got it when I was a little bit older. Like I didn't even get an iPhone. I was using crappy phones forever when everyone had phones. I never got didn't get an iPhone until I was, I don't know, maybe in my 30s or something.
I got an iPhone 3 when the iPhone 7 came out. Right. That was my first.
Yeah. Maybe he's in my 40s. I don't know.
That was a really fun time though for Instagram. It was just everybody's pictures of food.
Yeah.
And what and you had 3 filters.
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember Instagram first came out. I was like, what is this? And I didn't pay attention to it. And I had friends who were just getting all these followers, and I just felt like I got on late and just totally missed the boat and blew it. But I ended up I still can't get past 124,000. It's just
dude, I followed the rules that Josh said on the episode a while back for 4 years. And I went from 2,000 followers to 9,500, and then it just stopped.
So weird.
I was like, God damn it. Just
Yeah.
give me a pump.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't fucking matter, but it does.
Those people they don't even know too. It's not like the companies even know what to do. No. They don't know. They don't know how it works.
Yeah. That's why I quit caring.
Yeah, I know. It's like the lamest version of Skynet ever.
Kmart's Skynet. Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. I'm trying to keep it low key, focus on getting the work done and staying off social media as much as. You're on Blue Sky, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I jumped on. I had an account a long time ago when it first started, and then I deleted it. And then John Chen gave me a nudge. He's like, "Hey, jump back on." So I did, and it's pretty all right. But
yeah, there's a lot of growth there, which is good. I mean, but I don't know. It's like I only have like 1.3 thousand.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm not on it all the time.
Right.
And I see people like 10, 15, 30, 100,000. It's like they must be on it all the time.
I don't want to do that.
I know. I don't either. I don't want to. Nobody wants to. Most people don't want to.
I love Instagram because it posts to my Facebook and Threads at the same time. And I don't want to I like less.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want.
Yeah, I think.
So please join my Patreon, and eventually I'll just delete social media.
Yeah. Join the Patreon. Patreon's the best. That's what I need to do. I need to focus my angry talking head videos on getting people to Patreon. Because it's like if I could get everyone who's following me. Okay, how about if I could get half the people who are following me on Instagram? What's that? 60,000 people to give me $1. I'd have $60,000 a month. That'd be amazing.
Get angry with it.
It pisses me off too, so it's perfect. Come here, Betty.
Dude, that's awesome.
I'm gonna do it, and that's but I don't want to do it. That's the thing. It's like I really don't want to make that video. I don't want to make any video of me talking. I don't want to see my face. I don't want to hear my voice. I have to with this podcast. I like when I go and I'm in the live chat when we premiere it because I like hanging out with the people in the live chat. I move the video. I scroll so I can't see it. And I turn the volume down so I can't hear my voice, and I put the closed captions on, and that's how I know and I watch the closed captions, so it's just this little bar, and then I talk to people in the chat because it's like I don't want to see my face, I don't want to, I don't want to make these videos, but so
we're too pretty. We don't want to take away from our art.
Yeah, right.
I guess for our art, not our faces.
Yeah, it's like I just want to show my artwork. I don't want to show my stupid ass face. It keeps getting older and badder, and it's like I don't want to. People, it's so funny though because people with those videos, people are like, "Oh man, I love it," even though like I'm sitting there going, "I hate this." They're like, "This is great. I love it. You got to do more of these." I'm like, "Oh, it's like this crazy." Dichotomy, it's like, oh, you found a thing to do that you can do, but you hate it. and it depends on you hating it.
Yeah,
that makes it good.
Did you ever watch Metalocalypse?
I've seen clips and stuff. I've never really watched the full episodes, I don't think.
I watched an episode the other night, and it was the one where they wrote a song about hating their fans. They gave them all this neat stuff. They're like, "We hate you."
There's
all the fans go crazy.
There's a No Means No song like that called "My Politics," and it's you got to hear it. It's so good. It was like, but he's like, it's more of a self-loathing, hating humanity. It's like,
Right.
I hate you, the audience, and I hate myself. We're both playing it, feeding into this thing where I'm like the guy on stage and you're worshiping me, and I hate you for it and I hate myself for it. It's awesome. I'm going to send you a link to it.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's
It's so
awesome.
good. I remember I was like, for years, I couldn't figure out what the lyrics meant because their lyrics are kind of weird in that way. And it finally clicked. I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. It's so cool. So ballsy to do that, so honest.
That's fucking great.
Yeah. Yeah, it is great.
What's your favorite type of music or what do you listen to when you paint?
I'm still, I switched to movies around the time Mike was making that documentary about me, and I started watching documentaries, and I never went back to music. So it's
Yeah.
like, I don't really I hardly listen to music that much anymore. It's really weird because I'm a
Yeah.
huge music fan, and I was in a band for 10 years and trying to make it in the music business. And, I hear once in a while there's something new, but for the most part, I'm at that age where it's like, it's all the same shit. I probably like from the childhood to through the 90s probably is what most.
My new music is like 85 to 2000.
Yeah. But once in a while, it's just so hard to find something that it just doesn't seem, people say there's all this great music, but it's like, there's the most recent one I could think of is this band Knower. Have you ever heard Knower?
Oh,
They got some really cool. It's like weird kind of jazz with more of like a not taking itself too seriously though, but like really, really complicated, sophisticated music.
yeah.
But it doesn't take itself, kind of makes fun of itself in a way. Their videos are, I'll send you a link to that too, because it's really, really cool the way they shoot their videos. They're all like, they record in like one of their house, I guess, is where they record their videos, and it's all soundproofed, and the way they make the videos, it's like a security system. So all the different shots are from different security cameras. It's really clever, really smart.
Right.
But
The right mood to paint to music. Usually it's I've got audiobooks playing or
yeah, that's another one I do.
those are my favorite.
Audiobooks and what?
Radio shows, like old sci-fi radio shows.
Yeah. I was doing those for a while too. Those are the best, man. I love that shit. And the horror.
They got the original commercials in with the broadcast.
I know.
Everything's about smoking.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. Yeah, I used to have satellite radio,
Yeah.
and they had a channel that was all old time radio with the commercials, and it was so great. I used to listen to that a lot, but I gave it up. I gave up the satellite radio. And were you getting on YouTube?
YouTube or Audible.
Oh, okay.
The dramatic radio shows on Audible.
Yeah.
My favorites are the Dark Adventure radio broadcasts.
I never heard that one.
By the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society, and it's dramatic noir radio shows based upon Lovecraft stories.
Oh, cool.
And cool characters.
And they're old?
No, these are all recent.
Oh,
but they're
cool.
all, yeah, they've got like vintage style commercials to go with them.
Oh, excellent.
Like toothpaste with radium. It makes you. But they're a lot of fun to listen to.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, I'm doing. It's been movies again. I did like Dawn of the Dead, the original. Then I did Dawn of the Dead, like the long version, the next day, and then I did Zombie, the Italian.
Nice.
It's like I just got on this Zombie Dawn of the Dead kick, which is like, this is my childhood years.
Zombie's got a good soundtrack.
Oh yeah, it's so good. And Dawn of the Dead's got an amazing soundtrack too. It's funny because the next episode is going to be with another Ryan Peterson,
Sweet.
and we're going to talk about Dawn of the Dead. because he's a big fan of that too. Because I'm like a super Dawn of the Dead, the 1978 version. I'm like one of those annoying people that knows everything about it.
That's awesome.
So that'll be a good one. It's like I never got to talk about it, and it's like I just love that movie. It's so good. Yeah.
Once a year, here in Louisville at a place called Planet of the Tapes, they do a Return of the Living Dead fest.
Oh, cool.
And it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Everybody dresses up. It's really cool. That's one of my favorites. And plus, at the end of that movie, they nuke Louisville, so it's everybody. It's fucking great.
So is it like a Louisville, like a college town?
Yeah, the University of Louisville is in here.
Okay, so it's kind of like not what you think Kentucky would be.
It's a really cool city. It's pretty artsy, but it's very, very Kentucky Derby and bourbon centered.
Ah, okay.
Like if you make Kentucky Derby or bourbon art, you will do fantastic. Fucking hate them both.
Oh man,
it's got a cool art scene. There's some really cool places in it, like cool little hidden gems all around. Like the street I live on now, a couple blocks away, there's an apartment building that used to be an old hospital, and in behind where the hospital was, they kept this old stone grotto with like the statue of Mary, and it's really cool. And it's just hidden away in like this little apartment complex that nobody knows about.
Wow.
It's just so cool to walk up to it, like on my morning walks and check it out. And
there's
just all sorts of weird shit in this town that are neat and kind of drew me here, and it's kind of what keeps me here too.
That's cool. When you go on your walks, are you like in nature or are you walking around the streets?
There's a cemetery like right across the street from me.
Lucky bastard.
I know, it's so fucking cool. It's called St. Stephen's Cemetery. It's a small one.
Does it have the upright tombstones like the old ones?
Some old ones, yeah. And it's got two of them that are from 1839 from a woman named Frankenstein.
No way.
I'll send you a picture of them.
How have you not posted that yet? There's your social media post.
My little, I say hi to everybody on that cemetery walk. It's great.
Oh, I'm jealous, man. If I had a cemetery, I'd be there every day. We actually do have a good cemetery in town, but it's like on the south side of town. Probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 minutes. I could drive there in a few minutes, I suppose, but it's a pretty cool.
That's like anytime I do any traveling, I'm always like, is there a cemetery in this town? There's a really badass cemetery pretty close to me called Cave Hill Cemetery. And that's where like Muhammad Ali, God, what's his name? Colonel Sanders.
Wow.
Tons of really cool, like amazing sculptures and stones. And you can get lost in there.
Wow.
It's really cool. And then Eastern Cemetery is right next to it. And it's the cemetery that Return of the Living Dead, I guess, was based on.
Oh, wow.
But it's, I guess, it has more stacked up bodies.
Wow.
Than most cemeteries.
Wow. Okay.
It's like overpopulation in the cemetery.
Yeah, man. I love cemeteries so much. They make me so happy.
I know, they're so cool.
They feel so good to be in a cemetery. It's the weirdest thing. And I know if you're not into cemeteries, it probably sounds weird, but ever since I was a kid, I think cemeteries are so comfortable. I don't know what it is. They feel so good. Isn't that weird? That's pretty
cool. I'll tell you about, well, when I was a kid, I'd always walk to the library back in Maysville, Kentucky, and I'd check out my books, and right in behind the library, if you walked around the corner, was an old pioneer graveyard.
Wow.
It was like the oldest graveyard in Kentucky. So I would just take my books in the back and just sit there up against a tombstone and read all day.
Sounds like heaven.
It's great. It gets even better. It was connected to the opera house.
Oh, wow.
Which was haunted, like supposedly haunted by this actress named Loretta. So like I'm sitting at a pioneer graveyard next to a haunted opera house, probably reading Stephen King at a very young age.
That sounds amazing.
And ta-da, this is what you get.
Yeah, it's like we're trying to get back to that moment. You know,
Yeah.
what an amazing blessing to have in your life, to be able to have that memory.
Yeah. And it's like with my walks, what my main, I guess, mental focus on my walks is that I like to pretend that I'm an alien being seeing everything for the first time.
Oh, that's that's cool.
There's moss on the tree. It's going to be cool. I'm going to check it out. I'll flip up rocks to see what's underneath.
That's like, that's the childlike approach
Yeah,
to life,
childhood wonder and that pure joy and bliss of just seeing cool shit, and you don't even have to take a photograph of it because you
Yeah.
saw it, and that memory's yours.
Yeah.
That's a trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we lose that so quickly, especially in this world where we're just forced to grow up and or forced to be put into a funnel of what growing up is supposed to be.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think we lose on that. And when you lose that, you really lose connection to your creativity and that natural flow of magic.
Yeah. You lose connection to your true self and your spirituality and everything that's important. It's like
You stop unicorns.
it's what?
You stop believing in unicorns.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like everything that this world is about is all based on getting you to lose that part of yourself. It's like this crazy game, this high stakes game where you have to try and hold on to this magic part of yourself in this world that's just like not at all made for it. It's made to beat it out of you, kind of.
Yeah.
And you have to.
It's like as you grow up, like these giant pinchers come out and just start taking away pieces of you.
Yeah.
Replacing it with like these dull little pieces of crap that aren't you. And it's if you can get through that and still hold on to that childlike wonder, like your whole life can change.
Yeah.
And you've always got it, even if you feel like you've lost it, it's always in there
Yeah.
somewhere.
That's true. So, you just gotta
gotta believe in yourself.
Well, I think you gotta a way of cultivating that is surrounding yourself with things that gave you that feeling when you were a kid.
Oh, absolutely.
Like going to graveyards or watching Zombie or Dawn of the Dead or these things,
Yeah. Just about all the gremlins right over here. Yeah, where are they at?
Where are they at?
Can you see them?
Oh, that's cool. Wow.
Yeah, that was the first monster movie that made me love monsters. Really.
Oh, really?
So as I grew up, every time I'd see a Gremlins toy, I'd buy it and then take it out of the box and then hide it somewhere around my house. So I've got them everywhere. They're in the freezer. They're in the bathroom.
That's great.
Crazy.
Yep. That's
it's little things that make me smile to remind me that life's not perfect. It's not ever gonna be an even keel. But it'll be okay.
Yeah.
And it won't be okay. And then it'll be okay again. And
yep. That's it. That's the answer. We just figured out the meaning of life. Okay.
We just did. 42. Woo.
All right. Well,
now you have to join both of our Patreons.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Promote your Patreon because it's probably a good time to end the show. So
yeah.
Promote all your stuff.
Follow everything on my Linktree. It's Linktree, linktr.ee/IAM Ryan Case. It connects my social media, gallery, merch store, Patreon. And you can also subscribe to the Dark Art Society podcast through my Linktree too.
Oh, how nice of you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, we need more people to do that. I'm trying to get anyone listening. That's part of my problem is forgetting to mention it. It's like if you're listening to this podcast, share it, get the word out.
Yes.
I appreciate you doing that. It's really nice of you.
Of course, and I appreciate you. And everything you've done for the art scene and for me personally. I really look up to you as a friend and a mentor, and
Oh,
thank you so much for inviting me here. I'm
oh,
grateful.
my pleasure. Yeah, thanks for coming on. It's always great to talk to you. I'm glad things were are better for you, and I do look forward to a better 2025, hopefully. But we're not worrying about that. It's going to be good, and it's going to be bad forever, eternally. It's going to get better. It's going to get worse. It's going to get better, and we just got to surf the wave.
Yeah. And if I could leave with one last quote, one of my favorite quotes from Alan Watts says, when you are confronted with a ghost, walk straight through it.
That's great.
So
That's a good one. Okay. Well, I guess, is that your goodbye? Is that your special goodbye? All right. Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening.